everybody. Today's episode is remembering Martin Luther King Jr. Wildcard Weekend and maybe a little bit more. This is Chaz Says Anything. And if you like what you see and hear, click the subscribe button on the right hand corner. As you see, I don't have any guests today. That's fine with me. And we'll start with today, January 16th, 2023. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a federal holiday, obviously, for some people, post offices and whatnot. Obviously, a lot of people remember what he did, what he stands for. I carried today when I got into work. I saw something on what's called Facebook Workplace, and our president and chief executive officer of North America, Alot Kelly, wrote a note our workplace. I'll read it here. Recognizing Martin Luther King Jr. Today we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy and honor his fight for equality, nonviolent activism, and endurance in the face of adversity. Today, I ask you to pause and reflect on the courage he displayed and recognize the many ways we can put his lessons to work in our own lives every day. Above all, Martin Luther King Jr. dedicated his life to service, and that is a legacy we can build on in so many ways. I encourage you to bring to life our carry values at work of courage, inclusiveness, open-mindedness, ownership, and an enterprising spirit every day. Where I work at Cary, we will continue to mark this important holiday by treating everyone with dignity, equality, and respect in every interaction inside and outside the organization. And then he basically said, please share this post on our workplace groups and whatnot. So my comment, when I actually shared it to my page at my work and also to our work site page, I did say, I can't say it any better than what Oliver Kelly said. His drive and fight, Martin Luther's drive and fight for his convictions are what should drive every human being on this planet. Martin Luther King must always be remembered on this day and every day. Take a moment today to reflect on what this man means to this society we live in today and how we can facilitate his ideals and convictions in our life every day. So, like I said, this is it's not a holy day, but it should be, like a holy day from the Catholic Church. This man was a great man. He did a lot from what I've learned about him through studying, through reading, through living. And, we should just be nice to everybody. I don't have many enemies in myself. I pride myself in the fact that I'm a good guy. I feel people like me for the person I am. We may not agree on everything, but they like me because I have nothing up my sleeve. Everything is out in the open. And that's how I kind of live my life every day. I want to bring that to my children, that they grow up in a world that hopefully is less racist, less everything when it comes to the bad things we learned growing up and the bad things that happened in the past. So that's my reflection. That's my feelings. And I hope everyone that watches and listens does take the time a little bit to reflect and treat everybody with respect when they can. All right. Now that I've said that, we'll go what happened this weekend. My wild card weekend picks so far. So I'm gonna kind of pat myself on the back. I did really good this week, and you'll see when I put this up that in blue are the games that were winners. I'm 5-0. Got San Francisco, got Jacksonville, got Buffalo, got New York, got Cincinnati. If you watch the Saturday show, these are the picks from Saturday's show. I did that about a little before noon, so before the game started, and these are the scores I had. As you can see, I got two scores, leading scores correct. If I get the bottom one correct today, you might see me go to Vegas tomorrow and become a shark. I'm actually kidding. Beth won't let me go. Just letting you know. All right, so let's go one by one with these games. So let's go to, obviously, I'm wearing Giants. I'm very happy. This game was as solid as we've ever played. We played all year. There was very few mistakes, period. I mean, the mistakes you can actually note with one word: drops. There were more than a few drops in this game, and it wasn't even Galladay. It was everybody else. Galladay barely played. It was these guys need to learn to catch the ball. This is their job. You're a wide receiver. You run routes. You catch the ball. At the most, you should have 1 to 2 drops a game, period. I don't understand how they were just dropping easy. And the last one that 86 had in his hands, we could have shut the game down with like 2 minutes to go, and he drops it. It sunk. I know it sunk every Giant fan in New Jersey, New York. I know it did. But we ended up winning. We ended up sealing the deal and kind of exercising certain demons that we haven't been to we haven't won a playoff game in 6 years. It's just we needed this, period. This was our game to win, and that is absolutely it. I mean, and 20 I really only expected them to get 27 points. They got 31. That blows me out of the water. So that really shocked me that they scored 31 points. They haven't scored 30 in a playoff game, from, if I heard correctly, since like 2000 or 2002. Long time. So this team's legit. Our quarterback, DJ, he ran. Saquon ran. He found holes yesterday that weren't very big, and he busted through all of them. Got 2 touchdowns on that. I mean, that game got me excited. The first 3 quarters, I was excited. Got a little nervous at the end because it was so close, but I was excited. So we'll get to who we see next later. I don't think I have that up here, but I'll talk about that before I leave the air tonight. All right, next. So first game of the weekend. Seattle at San Francisco. I tell you what, San Francisco didn't have the defense I thought they'd have. I thought they would really kind of, obviously I have a 27-24 score. So the 23 almost came to fruition. But what Brock Purdy showed, that he can play. Mr. Irrelevant is not irrelevant. I'm telling you, the Trey Lance is going to be this guy's backup, and Garoppolo's gone. That's my feeling, because Brock Purdy is the guy. You can't get rid of this guy. At the very least, it's going to be a competition between him and Lance, but I think this guy's that good. And he's got the heart. He's got the skill. He can play with these guys, and he knows he's got players that can catch and run and do whatever. This scares me with my pick, because I think I got Buffalo winning the whole thing. And if Buffalo runs into this team, this could be a problem. But that was a solid game, and Seattle wasn't holding back. That they were really good. They were not holding back. It was amazing. So, all right. So next game, this one, biggest news of the weekend? If you watch just the first half, like I was flipping through this game back and forth because, especially in the first half, it was kind of killing me that he was throwing interception after, and I mean Trevor Lawrence was throwing interception after interception. I mean, it was an 8:00 game, 8:15 game, and what was on CBS right next to it at 8:00? The Prince Harry interview. So that kind of, I was going back and forth. I kind of wanted to hear what Harry had to say. He had that book that he wrote about the royal family. So I'm going back and forth. So as I come back around 9:00, like I said, going back and forth, they get to halftime, and they're down 27-7. So I'll say this, and I said this to Beth when we were watching the game, and I'm going to compliment Beth on this. She watched every game. She's a football fan. She's an Eagles fan first, but she's a football fan, and I tell you, I love this woman. She watches football like nobody's business. Just saying. Anyway, so okay, 27-7, and they come out of halftime. They interview the Coach Staley, the coach of the Chargers, who's winning 27-7. And I'm not going to necessarily quote, but you'll get the gist of what both sides said. So the female reporter basically said, you had a great first half. What's your plans for second half? He says, and this threw me, absolutely threw me. We made mistakes that we need to fix. You're winning by 20 points. What mistakes did you miss? I mean, you let the team score 7 points in a half. Oh my God! I mean, throw the books out, throw the iPads. You gave up 7 points. 27-7. You're up by 20. Forgive me if I'm wrong. For you football enthusiasts that you know better than me, but you don't say that. And God help you if your team heard you say that, or somehow somebody on that team heard you say that. But the fans heard you say that, and Twitter was going nuts. I know Facebook was going nuts. I know one of my two friends that are Charger fans were going absolutely nuts because you lost that second half and you lost it horribly. And from going from 4 interceptions to 4 touchdowns in one half, it clicked. He figured it out. Trevor Lawrence, under Doug Peterson, is a legit quarterback. Probably top 10. He's probably lower 10. I don't think he's top 5 elite. He's not there yet. He's anywhere from 7 to 12. But he's there. He knows how to play. There's a reason he was number 1 quarterback. There's a reason he was the top quarterback in Clemson. He's good. Can they beat Kansas City? That's a whole nother story. But they played their hearts out. And I got to say to Bosa, throwing your helmet on the field when, yes, the refs missed a false start, you know what? You're better than that. You're an NFL lineman on a great team. You want to throw a hissy fit? Go to the sideline. Don't cost yourself a penalty. That's dumb. Your brother should have told you that. There is no reason for you to give your team a penalty by acting like a baby. That threw me. I was happy. You know what? I got my win. But I'm sorry. I tell you, I hope my boys never see that. And whether they play baseball, football, or nothing. That's dumb. Don't do that. And like I said, I'm happy. I got my 31. I I said 31-28, and I was like literally within 2 points. I've never done that. I'm stoked that I was able to get that close. Okay, next, this game. Wow. Good and bad. And I'm talking about Miami. Buffalo, you know what? I think he'll figure it out. He had 2 really bad interceptions. Quarterback did. He'll figure it out. Josh Allen, I'm not worried. He's got the mental capacity. He'll get it done. He'll go in. He'll go. They'll stay home again. They got the game against Cincinnati. He'll figure that out. And that he's a professional. Not worried. Miami, on the other hand, played immensely well for what they were struggling with. 3rd string quarterback. 3rd. Okay. And he was close to excellent. He showed his nerves, there's no doubt. And you know who else showed their nerves? The coach. I don't even know what to call him. Is he Dennis the Menace? Is he another little punky kid from a TV show that I can't think of the name of? He looks like a 12-year-old running, from the Goonies running this team. I truly, he has some type of knowledge. He has to, for being the head coach of a one of 32 head coaches on NFL professional football team. But I'm sorry, how do you not know how to deal with timeouts? You're down by 3 to 7 points, and you're using your timeouts in the third quarter and 4th quarter. Are you for nonsense? If I were Miami fans, I would be going nuts on that. I know some were, others going other ways. That's fine, but that would bother me. That Miami. Hopefully, you're not as bad as the Jets next year. You got to figure that out. Is the Jets are up and coming too, and you think the Patriots are going to be down for 2 years in a row? Think again. So all right, so that's that. Next, last night's game. A lot closer than I expected. I tell you what, I did not suspect Baltimore would even show up this much. And it was more their defense that showed up than their offense. Their offense, obviously, both teams only scored 17 points. We know, okay, and why I say that? Because we know how the ending happened, if you watch the game. Huntley goes for the touchdown, puts the ball in the air. It gets punched out of his hand and flies into the hands of, I think his number was 54. I can't remember his name for the life of me. And he runs 98 yards. That big man ran 98 yards. It almost got caught by Mark Andrews, tight end for the Ravens. And either there were blind referees or they were just looking down the field. They didn't see what was going on. But the TV caught it. You know what the TV caught? Block in the back. That's a penalty. We've seen it a lot, especially in the beginning of games. Funny how we don't see it at the end of a game. Now, do I think they still would have scored? Yes. Somehow they would have scored, whether it be a field goal or touchdown. That would have been a game for Cincinnati that they won. I have no doubt if even with blocking the back, they still would have done something. But I will say, and before I get to the next one, the referees, I get it. You're human. And good for this weekend. From what I saw, they put people in boxes and had earpieces into the referees. And they were kind of getting play calls or penalties quickly fixed, or even calls that, this guy was out of bounds, but he really wasn't. They're getting that quicker. That seemed to be better. Most of those games they were figuring out. The one game, and God forgive me, I forget which one it was. It might have been Giants, Minnesota. Gene Steratore was on, and he was upset, and I forget what it was. It was a blatant missed call, and they got to get this figured out. referees, whatever your deal is, whoever's in charge of the referees, this has got to get figured out before next year. Oh, one more thing. Roughing the passer. I'm going to say it on this one because I don't remember which game I think. Wow. How am I? Oh, I now remember. It was the Giants-Minnesota game. Roughing the passer. 97. Our defensive guy, 97. Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence. Comes in. Tackles Cousins. Hits him. And then kind of puts him to his side. It looks like a fling, but he puts him to his side. They called that roughing the passer. We used to do that on the playground. Are you kidding me? Stop babying the quarterbacks. This is getting ridiculous. I'm so done with roughing the passer. I need everybody to get on board with this. I know if you're a football fan, you're going to get on board with this. We have to stiffen the roughing the passer penalty. It should not be you touch the quarterback wrong. It's a penalty. I'm sorry. I'm not using the words I want to use. You all you adults know the words I want to use. But that's what they are. They're blank calls. I'll leave it at that. All right. Now this game's going on right now. It's 8:21. This game's going on right now. Dallas at Tampa. Telling you right now, people. I might, if I don't go to Vegas, I might email Vegas with this sheet and tell them to look at Saturdays. That if I get Tampa Bay right and they go into overtime, if I call overtime on Saturday and it happens on Monday, you know how big my ego's getting. I'm telling you right now. But I'm really hoping that I'm right, and that I think there's a little bit left in Tom Brady's tank. The GOAT has a little bit left. I think this is the game he has it. After that, I don't know. But I think it's just enough because they're embarrassed. Dallas is embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed if I was a Cowboy. Just because of how we played the week before. That was pathetic. It's putrid. Give me other more P's that are adjectives. That's what it was. It's going to be close. I can't wait to go watch it. But it's going to be close. I'm feeling it. So let's get out of this for now. Let's go to a little baseball. So I know we feel as the Yankees fans, we got a good solid team, I think. I think I've said this before. I'm not a big fan of IKF at shortstop, but if they feel that he can do that, great, do it. Left field. I mean, you can't put Stanton there all year. I mean, I think he might want to. I'd love to see it. If you could put Stanton, Bader, and Judge. I mean, that's a pretty decent. This is I'd love to do. You got Stanton, Bader, Judge, DJ. I'll say. Oh, who are we? Not Cabrera. It's either Cabrera or the other kid. I want to put IKF on the bench. Then, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not. It might be Torres at second, but it also could be Volpe. And Volpe, if he's not here in April, I'd say expect him in August or September. That kid's going to be here. And then at first base, obviously Rizzo. I mean, and then catcher, we got Trevino. We'll what's his name come back? Higgy. And we got that other guy who we picked up when we got Pittsburgh, when we got Garrett Cole. No, was it Cole? Yeah, it was Cole. Worfstedt. I think that's how you say his name. Worfstedt. I'm probably chopping it up, and that's fine. But left field, who we got? Cabrera, maybe. Hicks. If Hicks is in, and they get nobody else. And I don't want that Pittsburgh guy. Pittsburgh wants too much. Ryan Reynolds, Pittsburgh wants too much. I'm backing everybody at the Yankees staff. They don't want him. They can't afford him. I mean, they want half our minor league system. And that's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right. So, like I said, it's probably Cabrera. You gotta have to mix in Hicks. Stanton probably won't do it, but he'd be my guy to do it. I think he plays better. And the three of them can DH. They can figure out the DH. IKF, he can get in there too. Like, he can spell people. Like, there could be like DH for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's how they can figure this out. One DH is every day. I mean, as simple as that. So, honestly, probably the biggest question, even though this is a big question for the Yankees, biggest question probably now Montas. Hey, he's hurt. He's got an issue with his arm. Who's coming up? Is it Herman? Is it Clark Schmidt? Is it both? We'll see. I'm curious how this goes. So next we got this. And I'll just add to the stream. There we go. So, okay, sign up later. Oh, yeah. So, not sure, this is about 4 days ago. Brian Hawk put out this story. Aaron Judge chased Eclipse. Roger Maris, yeah, we know all that. So, Eric Adams told Odyssey's 10-10 Wins on Thursday that plans are underway for the city to formally recognize Judge, who hit 62 home runs last season, to earn his first American League Most Valuable Player award. Have we not had others that did that? Oh my God. I don't know, but okay. Was this put in to his contract to get the key to the city? I'm curious on that. Nobody's saying that, and I know that's a thing, but something popped in my head. Was this put in his contract to get the key to the city? Anyway, quote, the team is putting it together now. We're communicating with the Yankees organization. If they accept, we would love to give it to Aaron Judge. It's a historical moment. No, historical moment was this, when they signed Judge to 9 years, $360 million. That's the historical moment. Let's be real on that. Now, here's a little bit of history, and I didn't know this. The key was first awarded in 1702. The symbolic key to the city resembles a large skeleton key and is a, quote, a beloved symbol of the civic recognition and gratitude reserved for individuals whose service to the public and the common good rises to the highest level of achievement, according to the city's website. I'm curious. Maybe one of these days I will check to see who's got the key to the city from now till back all the way to 1702. I'm curious how many there's sports people. I know that. I saw even in 2002 there was an Olympic medalist. I don't know if she was a gymnast or something. Was she from New York? I don't even know. It does say here the entire Yankees roster of 2009 received a key to the city after they won their World Series championship. Funny, 96, 98, 99, and 2000 didn't, whatever, unless it's not said here. And what about 86? Did 1986 Mets get it? I know how there were a bunch of bad dudes, I guess, of the 80s, if you say. I mean, now they're probably legit, but whatever. But it does say that former pitcher Dwight Gooden did get it in 2017. So Dwight got it, but Darryl didn't. What? Keith? Seriously? There's the 86 Mets need to get this too. Let's be real. And then the 1969 Miracle Mets got it in 2019. How many were still alive in 2019? The city's a little behind when it comes to their sports teams, when it comes to stuff like that. But it is. I don't live in New York City, so I guess it shouldn't bother me as much as it does as I read it. But okay. So let me get out of this. And we'll talk a little about this story. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know Carlos Correa went back to the Twins and got his 6 years, whatever, to go to the Twins, and they cleared his medicals, which was the big story that the Giants and Mets didn't clear because his knee. and the future, and the lawyer said this, and training staff said this. And if he could get 6 years at the Twins, you're telling me he couldn't get 6 years with the Mets? I mean, I did the GM of the Mets seriously hinder this that much? I mean, I think they could have done it. Now you kind of scramble for a third baseman. I mean, he could have been a legit third baseman for 6 years. I mean, and if he got injured, you got somebody in the minors, coming up possibly. I don't get Carlos Correa going to the Twins. You know what? And that's Boris. I thought Boris wanted him in New York. You know what? I'm not going to pay that any money anymore. I just want to get that out. Because I feel for the Mets because I know that was the guy that could have solidified an ANL East title and more. Now you got, I guess the Mets got to have to work a little bit more. God forbid. And then Trevor Story. What I feel for him. I can't feel for the Red Sox. I'm a Yankee fan, and I was a Met fan before that. I dislike the Reds organization. I loathe it from 2004. Don't even have to tell the story. You all know the story. But Trevor Story is a whole nother story. I wanted this kid on the Yankees years ago. I mean, he was a legit shortstop. He in my mind, it was going to be him and DJ LeMahieu in Yankee Stadium in like 2015 or 16, whatever it was, when the Rockies were thinking of letting one go or the other go. Remember, these two guys, Trevor Story, DJ LeMahieu, were Colorado Rockies with Arenado at third. How did they not win a World Series title? I'll never know. That is Colorado Rockies of the mid 2010s. Amazingly, were not good. It must have been their pitching because they had hitters upon hitters, and they couldn't even keep them. I mean, Arenado, obviously, we know he's in St. Louis now, and DJ's a Yankee. It's amazing that they in this Trevor Story with he's going to have Tommy John surgery. An infielder is having Tommy John surgery. Not many infielders I've ever heard of having Tommy John surgery, and that's a damn shame. And his arm might be shot, and at some point he's probably going to second now because he can't throw as far. So, I hope there, he comes back. I really, he's a good story. Excuse the pun. He's a legit player. It was a legit player. I fear he's going to be, every other player that gets hurt and just goes away. It's sad, but that. So I'll go to this next one. We got this story's been around for a bit, and I don't have it up. I remember a few things. I mean, there's talk about a couple of the college coaches coming up. There was also a couple of people that were fired from Denver that they were looking at. The Jets, I heard and read, were looking at getting in an offensive coordinator. They need somebody, and they need with their offensive coordinator. I hope they get a quarterback that they want, because I'm not sure if Zach Wilson is a quarterback they want. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it closer to, the draft, and maybe even before that. All right. So with this one, I'm going to show something. Hopefully this will be able to let me show it. I'm going to play a little thing from a couple days ago. Actually, it was yesterday. Go to that. Oh, I'm buffering now. All right. So as you can see, Julius Randle went nuts. I mean, he played his heart out last night. You know, all those threes in and out. I mean, where's this guy been? He last year he really had a bad year, and uh, I'm get it. So let me pause this, and then you can see this is their record. Let me blow that up a little. This is their record. Let me go up. There we go. 25-20. They're the fourth place in the Atlantic standings this year. Look at this here. All these wins. They had a little bit of a losing streak. They tend to be streaky. But in the last 9 games since they played the Rockets, whatever date they played them, they've gone 7-2. This is a legit Knicks team that we haven't seen since when Jason Kidd was their point guard back in 2015, 14, 13, under a coach I can't remember who was really actually a good coach, and they let him go after the second year. I'm hoping to God is a playoff team, and then they can get actually players to play on their bench, and maybe a star, but with Julius Randle and with RJ Barrett, with everybody that can play on this team. I'm a diehard Knicks fan from my days with Patrick Ewing when he became a Knick, and I just as a fan I need them to win, especially since I can't watch them anymore because I don't have MSG. Thank you, Xfinity. Appreciate it. We'll see how long I have you. But anyway, so now I'm gonna go to something a little. It's not a little. It's very sad. Um, remembering Lisa Marie Presley, who died on the 12th at the age of 54. I don't know much about her, minus, yes, she's Elvis's and Priscilla Presley's daughter. She married Michael Jackson way back when, if y'all don't remember that. That was all before he had his kids and everything else. Remember, one of the VMAs, Michael Jackson comes out with her and they had their hands up. I mean, I want to go back to like 1998, 1999 before things got crazy, apparently in 2000. But, I mean, she had her own children from other people, from what I understand. And I didn't. Well, last saw her on the Golden Globes, and I thought I thought she was healthy, and from reports that I read and heard, she was not. And this is very sad. And I did have read later on too that she had lost one of her sons. I didn't realize, and she's gonna be buried next to her son. So it was a sad day on the 12th. It was sad to hear that her passing, and I send my deepest condolences to the Presley family. All right, I don't have any other better segues. I'm really, there wasn't a lot other than football and basketball. There really wasn't much baseball. So I'm gonna do today's birthdays, and these are two people I know. One I know better than the other because I knew this one growing up. Mr. John Dombrowski Jr., 76 years old. Happy birthday, Mr. Dombrowski. I don't know if you'll see this on YouTube down the road. I hope you do, or Facebook. I grew up with him. He was one of my father's friends on the Eatontown Fire Department. They're still friends, obviously. The whole crew that's there. God bless. What the firemen do, whether it be Eatontown or where I live here in Island and Woodbridge. In Hazlet, I know they had a fire. We actually had a fire too a couple days ago here in Woodbridge. There was a fire in Hazlet, I heard. I know I got friends, the Barshewskis, I think father and son. They're firefighters in Hazlet or Union Beach, and they were helping out with that fire. You guys have my heart. I grew up in a firefighter family. I'm the one who didn't become a fireman. My brothers Kevin and David did. I had the opposite reaction when it came to seeing a fire. I went the other way. I don't have the guts to do that. I don't have the wherewithal to do that. I respect every single one of you that do that duty. It's not an easy thing. John and my dad, and I think you guys, who were at that time, Joe Miller, Dane Richards, these were gutsy guys. They're volunteers. These guys don't get paid. Most of these guys in New Jersey, there's a few that do. They get paid. Most of these guys don't get paid. And these were guys that did this for their community. John, again, happy birthday. The next guy I worked with for a few years, maybe only a year actually, Jake Nekrebecki. He's doing real good right now. He's traveling. Last time I saw on Facebook. So, Jake, happy birthday. 38 years old. You're 8 years younger than me. So, you got a lot more living to do, buddy. A lot more living to do. Okay. Now we'll do some past and future birthdays too, because I feel that if I miss a few, especially on Facebook, that I feel that I shouldn't have missed it. So it's best I can do. Best thing I can do is do it here. All right. So let's do past and future. Say two. Chuck Knuppel. I know him from one of my two past marriages. Last one was when I was my second marriage. Chuck, his birthday was on the 14th. 63 years old. Mike Kosha, you might see this when I put this on Facebook. His birthday was yesterday. Look at that. He hit the big 4-0. Welcome to 40, brother. If you got any questions, I'll let you know. I got 6 years experience. All right. Paul Campoli. I've known this kid a long time. 38 years old. I've probably known him almost 25. I knew him very young. I knew his brother, Albert, who's now in, I want to say Florida now. I lived in North Carolina for a while. Now he's in Florida. But Paul is in the Poconos with his mom and dad. Paul is 38 years old. I know he's doing real well up there. He's working real hard. I've seen a lot of his photos that he does with model trains and other things that he does for the community in the Poconos. So have a happy birthday on the 18th, Paul. On the 19th, coming on in about 3 days, Eric Wall. I worked with you and your wife at the Acme long time ago. So have a happy birthday, Eric. 61 years old. God bless. And another Amazon brother. So obviously, y'all last week remember my Amazon brother Justin, who was a guest host with me. Spencer Cunningham. His birthday's on the 21st. He turns 51. I can't believe he's 51. He looks younger than me. I tell you right now. Spencer is another Amazon brother down in South Jersey. I hope he has a great day on the 21st and have fun all week too. Everybody, again, happy birthday. And I'll show with this divisional round picks for this weekend will be on Saturday at 11 a.m. I hope to have my twins on. They'll be with me this weekend. And if I'm 6-0, if I do go 6-0, that means actually I'm still good with the picks I have going into this week. So I'll probably have the same picks. I just got to do scores. And if I have my boys, they're probably going to want to do picks too. So I won't necessarily do scores with them. And I don't have this written down. So also with my boxes, Super Bowl boxes, they're going down. I have about $20 and probably a little over that on the 10s and the 5s. So it's coming down. I know, and if it starts to slow down in I may only do the one set of 3. So, ChazRoyalty@gmail.com. If you want boxes, you got to let me know. ChazRoyalty@gmail.com. And I did my playoff. Obviously, I told you guys about my playoff pool. This is what it looks like. That's what it actually looks like. It's kind of like NCAA football, right? But guess what? It's not. And most of you should know that. Well, I got 41 sheets. And right now, there's 8 leaders that are 5-0 right now. 8 out of 41 got all 5 right. So, and they still have their Super Bowl winner. So everybody technically still has their Super Bowl winner. This Super Bowl seems to be easier to pick from because there's really only 4 or 5 teams that have legitimate shots to be Super Bowl champions. So even though Baltimore and Seattle and Chargers played very well, they weren't. A lot of them were not picked as opposed to other teams. Bills, Chiefs, Cincinnati, Dallas and Giants. Out of the 41, there's a couple people that actually have Giants or a couple sheets. And like I said, that with this pool that I do, you could do multiple sheets and have multiple scenarios because you never know what will happen. This year seems to be a little bit chalk, but we'll see coming up. Can Cincinnati beat Buffalo? Can Kansas City take out a very strong Jacksonville team? Can the Giants overcome and somehow beat Philly? And can either Tampa Bay or Dallas actually step up to play San Francisco? That's what's coming up. Divisional round picks on Saturday, January 21st at 11 a.m. Me, my 2 boys, and maybe somebody else if they actually want to get in on the pick, whether it be Danny, whether it be Justin, whether it be Steve if he gets his voice back, whoever. So, like I said, happy. It's not happy, but remember, today is Martin Luther King Jr.'s day. We remember Martin Luther King Jr. and the things he did, and focus on what we can do that in his honor. Peace out, everybody. See you Saturday.